You know, I've been cooking since I was 4 years old, and I think one of the treats I've been making all those years are the beloved crispy rice cereal treats. But that doesn't mean I have not added a few tricks of my own to make them a little more special and a little bit more like me. And I'm going to show you how I do that. I am going to start by misting a foil-lined baking sheet with a little bit of cooking spray. And while I have it out, I'm also going to mist my measuring cup. That's going to let this gorgeous golden honey slip right out. I'm going to measure about 1/4 cup of honey. I'm going to add this to my saucepan and start building a syrup to make honey roasted peanuts that are going to be the crunchy element in my cereal treats. To this, I'm adding some granulated sugar and cardamom. Oh, how I love cardamom. I often use it in place of cinnamon in a recipe. It has a beautiful aroma and a gorgeous flavor that's going to add a little bit of interest to these very grown-up treats. I'm also going to add some salt, 1/2 teaspoon. Now I'm going to stir this and let it come to a nice bubbling boil. Now, while that comes to a bubble, let me tell you about these peanuts. These are good old dry roasted peanuts. Now, for this recipe, you're going to need 1 cup of peanuts, but some of us, and we know who we are, might nibble a few off the pan. So if you want to make extra, there's no problem. And into the pan go my peanuts and give them a really, really good stir to make sure they're completely coated. Then onto my prepared baking sheet we go. Spread them out in a fairly even layer. And I'm going to put these in a low oven, about 300 degrees, and let them turn beautifully golden brown. So my honey roasted peanuts are out of the oven and they've cooled enough that I can handle them, and now I'm just breaking them into bits. So easy. And every once in a while, I'm going to stop and sprinkle these with a little bit more of my granulated sugar, and then I'm gonna sit these aside while I get the rest of the crispy rice treats ready, and then this is going to go on top. And now I'm going to make my crisp rice cereal treats. This is going to be familiar to a lot of you, but instead of marshmallows, I am making a honey butter syrup to bind this cereal together. It's so easy. I'm gonna start by melting butter in my large saucepan, and to that, I'm adding granulated sugar and some more of our delicious golden honey. This smells so good. As I'm stirring this to melt the butter, it mingles with the honey. You know it's going to be delicious. My butter is melted, and then I'm going to stop stirring to let the heat build up a little bit. And what I'm looking for is a low boil. And I'm going to set my timer for exactly 2.5 minutes. And I want you to set your timer also, because the length of that boil is going to turn this into the perfect syrup to bind my cereal treats together. Okay, this is perfect. I am going to take it off the heat, and I'm going to add my vanilla extract. Bubble, bubble. That's exactly what it should do. You always add your vanilla at the end of the cooking, and then I'm going to pour in my cereal. And I am going to stir to make sure every little piece of puffed rice is coated in that delicious honey butter mixture. And I think I have it. And then into my prepared pan, it just scrapes right in. Look at that. How easy is that? And now take your spatula and just tuck it into the corners. Now look what I'm going to do with these honey roasted peanuts. I am going to sprinkle them over the top of my cereal treats. And you want to do this while your cereal treats are still a little bit warm, because I'm going to gently press these peanuts down into the surface so that they stay put. And then my last thing is a sprinkling of coarse salt. sometimes called a finishing salt, a nice, crunchy, flaky salt. There we go. I think that's just right. And we are done. They just need to sit until they firm up, and then we're gonna cut them and eat them. Friends, how cute are these? You can tell that they are our beloved crisp rice cereal treats, but look what we've done. We've upgraded these with that butter honey syrup, the roasted peanuts, that bit of crunchy garnishing salt. These are so good. You get that crunch, you get the tender bits, you get that sweetness of honey. There is no doubt that this is a honey recipe.